Hello everyone, thank you for visiting my YouTube channel again. Welcome back to For This Class channel. The contents of this video channel is only meant to explain topics of my modules on different subjects. Samples, definitions, and special photos are not to encroach copyright of the owner. In this video, we are going to discuss about the Philippine Constitution. What are the things that you are going to see in your Constitution? The 1987 Constitution and its very first part contains what we call the Preamble. But what is a Preamble? Preamble is actually a declaration or a statement where an individual declares his responsibility to protect the country, to serve its national interest, and defend it from external forces. The preamble also highlights the fundamental values and guiding principles of our Constitution. It serves two purposes. That is, to indicate the source from which the Constitution gets or emanates its authority, and states the object which the Constitution seeks to establish and later on your wedding day, when you are going to walk down the aisle and declare to the whole world, making a promise that you are going to love your partner for the rest of your life. That is the same thing as making or taking the oath of allegiance. When you take the oath of allegiance, you will be stating first the preamble of the Philippine Constitution. You will be stating or making a vow that you are going to be loyal to the country, that you are going to serve the country no matter what, and you are going to uphold the Constitution of the Philippines. To love and to serve your would be husband or wives later on is just like serving and loving your own country. These are two things that are inseparable because you can never say that you love a person without serving him. In the same way that you cannot say that you are patriotic to the national interest if you are not going to serve the country itself. So now let us try to take the oath of allegiance by reading what we call the preamble of the 1987 Constitution. So let us start with the preamble of the Constitution. If you are going to analyze the preamble, the first statement that you are going to read is the word we. Why do you think did the preamble start with the word we instead of an I? Well, the succeeding phrase, the sovereign Filipino people, will tell you that when you are making your declaration or statement using the word we, you are recognizing your co Filipinos. You are not speaking in behalf of your own self only, but you are speaking on behalf of the whole Filipino people. The phrase the sovereign Filipino people recognizes the authority of the Filipino to uphold, to enact laws in the country. However, though it recognizes its power and authority, it still bows down to the aid of the Almighty Creator. The statement imploring the aid of Almighty God speaks of our religious character as Filipino people, our values to be humble in asking for a divine intervention from the unseen Creator. The purpose of the preamble was also being stated on the next phrases. It states that we, the sovereign Filipino people, imploring the aid of Almighty God in order to build a just and humane society and establish a government that shall embody our ideals and aspirations. See, it aims to establish a government, and this government should be an agency that will mold or contain our aspirations as Filipino people, our aspirations in terms of our identity as a Filipino citizen. And we are bound to promote the common good, to conserve and develop the patrimony, because that is how we are going to enjoy independence. Independence that only democratic countries like the Philippines is experiencing. There are other countries which do not experience democracy or independence, like, for example, North Korea. North Korea is a communist country. The national government of that country holds the independence or the freedom, I should say, of its people. Their people are not free to distribute their own wealth. They are not free to consume all their products because part of their products must be submitted to the national government. Unlike in the Philippines, that each of us has been exercising our freedom, has been enjoying our civil and political rights under the rule of law, under the form of a democratic government. And this democracy should always be a place for justice, a place with love, a place with equality, and a place where there is truth. Well, in the last part, it says the Filipino people ordains and promulgate the Constitution of the Philippines. Let us now try to analyze each part of the preamble. Why is the preamble of the Constitution so important for every Filipino in the exercise of their political rights that is enshrined in the Constitution, particularly the Bill of Rights? The preamble of the Constitution specifically identifies who are responsible in taking the oath of allegiance, those who are responsible in ordaining the Constitution or promulgating and enacting the laws of the Philippines. It clearly states and identifies who are responsible in conserving and developing the patrimony of the state and the promoting or promotion of the common good. And if you're going to ask who are they, the answer would be the sovereign Filipino people. Do not just say Filipino people, but indicate, specify the word sovereign, because this is the unique term that identifies or represents the national identity of independence of the Filipino people from external control. As we said, the preamble is taking an oath of allegiance, and taking an oath of allegiance is the same as making a promise. Let us try to study what are the promises that is contained in the preamble of the Constitution. What are these promises? The first promise that is being contained in the preamble is the responsibility of a certain Filipino to promote the common good. So it seeks to promote the common good, meaning to say the interest that is beneficial not only to a certain person but to the nation as a whole. Second, we have to promise that we need to conserve and develop our patrimony to the state. Being a Filipino must be a patriotic person, one who has the nationalistic character and values, one who has the passion to strive, to struggle for the nation's interest. And lastly, we have to secure to ourselves and to our posterity the blessings of independence. As I have said a while ago, it is one of the advantages of being a Filipino citizen is that we need to enjoy the blessings of independence. We need to exercise our political and civil rights that is enshrined in the Bill of Rights contained in our Constitution. It is in these promises that we can see the doctrine of reciprocity as being applied. The doctrine of reciprocity means that the state has the responsibility to protect its people, to provide service for the people, and in return, the Filipino people should promote the common good, conserve and develop patrimony, and secure to themselves the blessings of independence. That is a reciprocal obligation. It simply means I will scratch your back, you scratch mine. I will protect you, you will do this for me. The doctrine of reciprocal obligation. So, what is the purpose behind the declaration of the Preamble of the Constitution? Why do we need to promote, to conserve and develop our patrimony and to secure or enjoy the blessings of independence that we have? First, it's because the aspiration of the Filipino people should be building a just and humane society. Just and humane society means that there must be an equality for every Filipino person. That all penalties, sanctions that must be given to somebody who had broken or violated the law must be humane enough, and that fairness must be achieved in the settlement or achievement of what we call justice. Another one is that we must have to build or establish what we call a government. Because without the government, then people must be lost. Because there will be no political community or political agency to instill obedience among the people. The government is an agency, it is a tool wherein the ideals, the will of the people are being crafted or created. And it is also the government that will be tasked to implement, to interpret the laws and to implement these laws among its residents or citizens. Without these specific missions, then it is useless to state or declare the preamble of the Constitution. It is here wherein we state that we aspire to build a regime, a regime of truth and justice. Meaning to say that in this particular just and human society that we are going or intend to build, that there must be a justice, there must be truth reigning in that particular society. If you are going to look at the figure of the scale of justice, then the scale of justice must not be tilted in favor of one person only. That truth And that fairness must be in an equal balance. Freedom of the press, the freedom to change your abode from one place to another place, the freedom to travel, your civil and political rights, the freedom to exercise them, like for example in voting. We should aim to establish a place where there is love, because as we all say, that love is the most powerful thing and the most mysterious thing that happens to every individual. And if love is present, then freedom, truth, and justice is not that hard or difficult to achieve. That no discrimination exists, then the world peace, as we always and commonly say, will be achieved. Well, who among you doesn't want, or who among us doesn't want, a place where there is peace? All of us wanted to have or to live in a place of serenity, a place where we can relax, a place where we can enjoy our rights freely without any discrimination, and in a place where there is a state of equality. So that ends our discussion on the Preamble of the Constitution. Thank you very much for listening and for watching my videos. So please do not forget to kindly subscribe, like, put your comments, and ring the bell on For This Class channel. Bye everyone!